Hi, I'm Jamie Isaac and welcome to Resort Fit at our retreat centre here in Southern California. Today I'm going to talk about ribs and rehabilitating fractured ribs. I had a request for someone who's fractured their ribs and wants to know of some exercises, firstly to help with the rehabilitation and secondly just to keep them moving whilst they're working through their rehab. Now yeah, it's a really painful thing and it's something you want to get behind you as quick as possible and get back into your yoga, back into Pilates, back into whatever training regime you do. But it's really important. The first thing we must do, go see your doctor and get clearance. Make sure you've had an x-ray or a scan so that you don't cause any future issues. I mean, some of the issues that can happen is if the rib punctures any of the internal organs that those ribs protect, which sounds pretty nasty and probably is. So the first thing I focus on when we're rehabilitating an injury in the rib area is getting the breath back to a normal function. The pain and the soreness and the tightness that comes with that rib injury often stops us from breathing properly and tightens up our lungs and stops us using them to their full effect. So we need to move to get those lungs open, get all that lovely fresh air in and get all the bad air out so you don't end up with any sort of infection, lung infection or further issue. As with any exercise form, pay good attention to your body, listen to yourselves and be sure that you're not pushing into areas where there's going to be pain, so look after yourselves. Now a great way to start is to bring the breath and some movement together. So make goalpost arms and fists with your hands and draw your shoulder blades together as you inhale, exhale and start to begin to feel a stretch through the back of the rib cage. Another thing that's really superb for repairing those ribs is look at the breath. Pilates breath just happens to be perfect for that. Really wide thoracic lateral breath. So I want you to really experience not just breathing into the front of the rib cage, but really opening more into the back and the side of the rib cage. Now, kneel or stand, draw the abs in and up so that you feel that length through the spine. And you can place your hands on your rib cage or one hand on the ribs and one hand behind the back of the ribs if you want. And just take a moment just to inhale. And as you exhale, as though you're blowing through a straw, just blow out every single last particle of air if you can. So you're going to need to use your abdominals to make this happen. Feeling the ribs widen into the side of the body, the back of the body. And that exhalation, really draw that navel to the spine at the very bottom of the breath. And that's going to help expel any of that waste air or leftover bad air. Okay, so when you feel that you're making some improvement and you're feeling a little stronger, one thing I like to do is turn up the heat a little bit and use a Thera-Band. So with this one I've chosen a colour that brings out the green in my eyes, but the important thing is that we're actually working with something that is light to start with, not a very heavy duty band. You're just going to wrap it around the rib cage, just around the lower ribs, and tie a nice bow just at the side of your ribs. Now, you're not tying it like so tight that it's constricting you. You actually just want this to be able to just a little resistance to the movement and to the breath. So let that put some very light pressure onto the ribs and back to those same exercises, those same breathing exercises that we did before without the band. So we're just going to inhale, feel the ribs expand, feel a little resistance from the band, and then as you exhale out once again, connecting through the powerhouse into those deep abdominals to push out every last particle of air that you have. I'm going to give away one of my favourite stretches here, which is just a great way of opening up the side of the thoracic cage. Place your hands on the frames or the surface, about waist height, walk the hips back and just lean into the heels a little. Then what we're going to do is very gently just bend one leg and straighten the leg of the side of the body you want to stretch. So here I'm going to stretch my right side. And then leaning back, just lengthen through that side of the body and breathe wide into the ribs on that side. So here I'm really freeing up the side of that thoracic cage. It's also a great way of freeing up the shoulder and giving a gentle stretch through the back of the legs. So be sure to only take this into an area where you're not feeling too much pain. I would recommend spending a little longer on the side of the ribs where the injury took place. Only going very gently into it, feeling a gentle stretch. I hope these exercises prove helpful for anyone with rib issues. May these exercises help you along to a speedy recovery. I wish you a speedy recovery. And for anybody who is injury-free, congratulations for one, and may you live a blessed and injury-free life. Thank you. If this has proved helpful and you're also interested in other helpful tips or exercise routines, then check out the rest of our Azul Fit YouTube channel.